Good evening and welcome to Coach World TV. My name is Terry Yoffe, and tonight as my guest I have Doreen Guma. Hi Doreen.
Hello Terry.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. And
Great.
yourself?
Very good.
Fabulous.
So Doreen has got a boatload of stuff. I mean, such wonderful things she's doing. I'll just start with, Doreen is founder of TimeToPlay.com, and the philosophy of Time to Play is happiness, health, money, and work-life balance. And Doreen is going to tell us a lot about that and some of the very interesting and innovative things that she has done with Time to Play. And she is the author of a new book, If I Knew Then What I Know Now, It's our quest for quality of life. So we're going to dig in here,
oh my
Doreen.
Gosh, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, first of all, I love that title. If I knew then what I knew now. I think everybody
has said
thinks, if I only knew then what I knew now, I could have gone to the moon, or I could have been a rocket scientist or a surgeon. So.
Absolutely.
Tell us about TimeToPlay.com first.
Okay.
And how you even had this wonderful idea for this business.
Fabulous. Time to Play is a project that kind of came out of necessity to a certain point. We all go through our life, and when I became 45 years old, I started to wonder, so what else is there? And I kind of formed Time to Play as my quest for quality of life. And it's something that's very positive. It's not, I always say this, it's funny, but I say it's not mylifesucks.com. It's a positive way of looking at it, a reminder to enjoy life. And that's the most important thing that we can do. I've worked in healthcare for 27 years. I'm a board certified healthcare executive, and I've seen the sick and sad. And I decided there has to be a better way. There has to be something that we could do to take our life back. And so I decided, learn what you need to know so you can enjoy your life. And so I started Time to Play for a lot of different reasons. Talking to people, realizing that more than me was looking, more than me were not happy.
Right.
I just read an article that there was a poll that 2/3 of the American population are not happy. And it's sad. I mean, it's not like you're saying 5% of the people are not happy. It's not like you're saying, oh, it's an insignificant component of our population. 2/3, let's round it to 66% of our population. So Time to Play's goal is to provide resources for better life. And what does that mean? Is we have professionals under happy, healthy, have money, and a work-life balance. And I came up with those ideas because if you take any of those away, you can't have quality of life. And people will say, oh, I don't need money to be happy. But you need to eat.
Right.
So if you can't feed your family, you can't be happy.
Yeah. And I'm going to just interject here. It's astonishing. I'm not surprised that a good percentage are not happy. And certainly when you come up with Time to Play, I think about Time to Play. Who has time? You know, we live in such a fast-moving, quicker than speed, lightning time that we don't always take the time to, as we say, smell the coffee or smell the roses and really enjoy life. I certainly can concur with, you know, people aren't happy. People aren't happy. They don't have time to be happy. They're such on this fast track
It's
that,
true.
that they don't stop to make the time. And it's always, you know, and especially I'm a coach. I work with a lot of people, and you know, people think, oh, if it's just this is what'll make me happy. It's I'll buy this house. That's what's going to make me happy. And then they get the house, and then it's, oh, if only it's a car, a new car, and you know, and it goes on and on. If only, but they don't fill that empty hole inside of them. They're looking for the out here.
Absolutely.
And I have a feeling
I'm gonna It's in the book. It's in the book.
That's what's
and
in the
I'll
book as
probably
well.
say it like 5,000 times before we're done. But it is honestly in the book. We had, everybody has a self-destructive behavior.
Sure.
Okay, and also in the book, which I'll just regress a second, is sometimes we're going through the motions in our life, and I talk about being on the hamster wheel in the book. And we don't realize that we might not be in the perfect situation. We might not realize that we're not happy because we wake up in the morning and we go to work and we come home and we take care of the kids and we go to the food shopping and then we go to bed and we're exhausted and we get up the next day and it's the same
Start
thing
all
over and
again.
over, the hamster wheel.
Right.
We don't realize we're not happy. We don't realize.
We don't think about it,
We can't think about it. We're
know.
just so wrapped up in everything. And the part that I wrote, one of my chapters is always striving for the brass ring and proving instead of living. So that's something that is very important to take note of. And you know what? When you get that awareness, it's like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's
Right.
exactly
That's
it.
right.
But what you're saying is also in the book. We are looking for something to fill a hole.
Avoid, right.
And, you know, when I get that vacation, when I get that new house, when I get that new car,
When I get a raise.
it
right,
doesn't
right.
fill it. And that's what the Always Striving for the Brass Ring chapter speaks
Yes,
on.
I can only imagine that. That's exactly, and you know, when I work with clients who, you know, they don't feel good enough or valued enough
It's exactly it.
unless they've climbed Mount Everest.
Exactly.
Well,
And then
who's
after you
gonna
climb it, it
Yeah,
won't
but that
matter.
But that's such so out of reach unless you happen to be somebody that climbs summits and has climbed Mount Everest. I happen to have a friend that did climb Mount Everest, but it's just a metaphor that we set our standards
Absolutely.
so high that they're unreachable. So we're never good enough because we haven't reached that.
because
but-
we don't believe in our heart that
Right.
we're not good enough. And it's all in here,
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure.
And look at the cover is Victory on the Mountain. So yes, we have
there
this.
you go.
But this is actually Terry's book, and I wrote,
Oh, wow.
Terry, and this is what I wrote to you. It's in here.
To me.
Terry, it is so important for us to learn what we need to know so we can enjoy life, and our duty to help others do the same, people helping people. And so that is for you. But this sentiment is exactly what we're speaking about. We need that awareness. You need the awareness. You need to snap yourself out. You don't realize a lot of times that you might not be happy. Sometimes you're just tired. Sometimes you're just, you have a headache all the time, or you're not hungry, or whatever. There's things that your body physically manifests when you're searching. And we have to start, and that's the whole thing about the triggers, and we talked about this briefly before we came down to the studio, of things that I've created in the whole Time to Play project. We have the Time to Play shirts, or I gave, sorry, I lost it.
She lost
I gave Terry a reminder to enjoy life, little
is
tip
life,
that you could
but-
keep in your pocket, but you don't need one of these necessarily, but if you want one, you know, call me or email me and I'll send you one. But
This is too small to even look at.
but
A
you put
reminder
it
to
in your
enjoy
pocket when you're having a
life.
bad day. Don't let the bad day get ya. Snap out of it. And it's such an awareness, and that's where this coaching is so important, because it gives us a tool, right? It gives us a realization that we don't have to do that behavior.
Right.
We can stop ourselves and change.
And I think that's what part of what coaching is about, that people come to us, whatever they come to us for, and whatever they want to achieve, and to really look at, they get to examine their lives, which on a day-to-day basis most people don't, because they're not self-aware.
Exactly.
Because it's hard to be self-aware if you're on a rote behavioral pattern.
Exactly.
Getting up and going to work and coming home. And I think if you ask somebody, you know, I think of Fiddler on the Roof, where I think the wife asked the fiddler, "Are you happy?" or something like that. Happy? What do I know about, you know, or do you love me? What? What do I know? You
Right.
know? And I think people don't stop to think, I personally did not grow up in a happy household, so I didn't really know. You know, I thought I was happy, but certain things made me happy.
Right.
But in my quest for and my search for who I am and becoming self-aware for all the modalities I did, I'm finding as I'm getting much older that I've settled into kind of feeling at peace.
And that's
You know,
important.
is that happiness? I think everyone's got their own definition of what happiness means. But if you can find, for me, my
Right.
perspective, inner peace,
Right.
inner satisfaction.
Right.
You know, even going to the grocery store, I have a routine. If I get up Saturday morning, I get up really early. I'm at the grocery store at 7:30.
Right.
Get my shopping done, get to work out, and then I've put in a whole day. So,
And you're
you know,
at peace.
I'm at peace.
And that's
Yeah.
important.
So,
If we're not at peace, and as we were talking, the word stuck came to my mind.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote it down, because I didn't want to forget. Sometimes people find themselves stuck, right?
right, a lot of people, we all do.
So if we're stuck, see, that's part of like time to play. It's a big, huge quality improvement project. Quality improvement is looking for the root cause, looking for the cause. Why are you stuck? Are you happy at work? Did you just take the job to make salary?
Yeah.
If you are not happy, why are you not happy? What makes you happy? Like we were talking, okay, what
sure.
gives you peace? What makes you happy? How do you unstick yourself if you don't like where you live? Do you continue to live where you are just because you've always lived there?
Right. Well, right.
Don't be stuck.
Right.
We are on this earth for a short period of time, and
Yes, that is so true.
we don't want to be stuck. We want to enjoy our life, and that's the whole basis of the whole project.
I was very interested when we spoke at dinner about time to play and what it really, how it manifests. And you really went into a lot of detail. Maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about, you know, your benefactors, the charities.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what the mission and the real purpose of Time to Play is.
Absolutely.
Because it's much bigger than a name, Time to Play.
It's a very, very
Yeah,
big project.
right.
And basically, like I said, it is a quality improvement project. It's quality of life. Us having quality of
And
life.
you have resources that can help people
Correct.
to provide that quality of life.
Correct.
Is that correct?
We have, and the same with the book. There are 17 contributors in this book, and it's the same with the website itself. So we follow Happy, Healthy, Have Money, and a Work-Life Balance. So in this book and in the website are amazing professionals that I have found along the way, and I have chosen to help. So we have like Rebecca, who wrote a chapter on quality of life, and she is a happiness specialist, and she's on Time to Play, and she writes articles. We have Joe Farina, who wrote about what do you dream about and what are you worth in here, and he is a business coach, and he writes articles. And we have Break Up to Breakthrough, and Heidi wrote a chapter on that and her experience with divorce. And she is a relationship coach, and she helps people reinventing their life. So this is what we have, like this type of thing, and they're real people helping people, and that's the huge basis. Basically, Time to Play, as far as I can best explain, is a grassroots movement for us to take our life back. I mentioned that 2/3 of the population are not happy. So what are we doing about it?
Well, there's more the question, what are they doing about it?
That's exactly
I think
it.
the first step has to be somebody has to recognize that they're really not happy.
Exactly.
And that's a first step, you know, self-awareness. Somebody doesn't come to coaching unless they, or therapy, or
Right.
some type of modality, unless they start to see, I know that happened for me. I was really stuck. I was very unhappy. And I took a step.
Right.
It wasn't coaching, it was therapy a very long time ago. But I probably said to myself, there's got to be a better way of living.
Exactly.
And, you know, somebody has to take that first step for all of time to play to kind of come into play, if you will.
Well, that's how it did start. I said it started as my quest for quality of life, and the book is our quest for quality of life. So basically, yes, but my vision is people helping people. I did write about one of my biggest pet peeves is people don't care about somebody else until it affects them. But if we are more wide thinkers, if we are looking at the big picture, when you say 2/3 of our population are not happy, or the suicide rate, which is something very big. My brother wrote a chapter called Lost Then Found. It's in the book. And the suicide rate in our society, it is the 10th leading killer in our society in general. In our 15 to 24-year-old population, it is the 3rd leading killer.
Was that what you, that was the question I was going to ask.
Why
do you think that it is? Is it
hopelessness?
Kids that they have feel no direction, they feel hopeless, peer pressure?
They feel lost, they feel alone. I have 3 children. My youngest is 18, my oldest is going to be 22. And they're hopeless in a way. You know, they're like, what kind of job are we going to get? How are we going to make enough money? You look at the news, it's all negative, negative, negative. You don't hear anything positive. You know what? We have become a dependent society. Instead of us taking ourselves, brushing ourselves off, picking ourselves back up, making our own jobs, we're waiting for people. So what do you hear for in high school? Go to college, get a loan, get a job, be in debt, retire and die. That's it, right? What are we taught? And we need to be resourceful.
They don't see, I think, you know, going back, things were very different, and there was more opportunity. Not that there's not opportunity today, but it's very different than it was. And kids, you know, looking at the landscape of today's society, with you know, the unemployment rate, and they're thinking of going to college, and the unbelievable cost of college, I think it becomes overwhelming to them. And, you know, dependent society, I think kids, there's also goes with an entitlement society.
Absolutely.
Where kids feel entitled. Well, you know,
I think that self-worth and self-esteem play very much into everything. I mean, in our adult life as well. If we don't feel we are good enough, and we've had that discussion briefly, I mean, it's enough for a 10-week seminar, I think. But, you know,
we could spend 3 hours.
We have like literally 5 minutes. So, no, but self-worth, self-esteem, and I think that that's so important in our children. If you're feeling worthy, are you going to attempt suicide? If you feel you're strong and you're amazing and you're a vital part and you're loved and you're needed, you know, so we're working on some programs now through Time to Play to try to help with that. And I had told Terry, and I have this teeny tiny picture.
This is so great.
We created Be Extraordinary. It is a makeup. Again, we're talking about the triggers to snap ourselves out and to help us enjoy life.
And a perfume, right?
And we have a fragrance for men and women coming out also called Be Extraordinary, because if you spray yourself with it every day, I can be extraordinary. I am extraordinary. It is a reminder to be that you are amazing and strong and confident and beautiful and everything. Every day. So Michael Waterman is my co-founder for Be Extraordinary. He is on the Time to Play project, and he is our makeup and beauty expert, because years ago, and that's how I came upon Michael, but I worked for 27 years in healthcare, like I said, and 14 years in a hospital. So we had a program the American Cancer Society started called Look Good, Feel Better, and it was in the very late 80s. And if you feel good and if you look good, it helps you.
Sure, absolutely.
And so that's how Be Extraordinary came, because every day you put on a lipstick for women. Well, maybe for men too, but that's okay.
If you're home, maybe.
If you like it, that's okay. We don't judge here. But, you know, when you put on that lipstick and you pull it out and it says Be Extraordinary, what is it telling you? It's so strong. And the fragrance, I'm so excited for, because that's going to help. And, donations for anything on the website, everything we do. there is a benefactor. So I found a organization called To Write Love on Her Arms, and people can Google that and find it. It's a suicide depression awareness organization that offers hope. It's a not-for-profit. It offers hope, and they provide resources and help people.
Right.
Everybody should love and be loved, and that's one of their missions and philosophies.
So, quick question. What if kids come from a loving family?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Right, that, you know, and they get the love, and they get, you know, the accolades, and they get everything, and then they jump off a building. I mean,
it happens in my family less than a month ago. Thank God my relative is okay. 16 beautiful, fabulous family. It doesn't matter.
Right, that
it doesn't
was my
matter.
question.
And
so
it's the self-worth. It's in your heart.
Right.
It's in your heart. And I don't know what is causing it specifically, but very interestingly, if you do some research, the suicide rate in our society from the 50s, and that's how I had, you know, research whatever, is it's pretty consistent. It's not that it's
has changed.
It's
much?
not really changed since
but
the
I think
50s.
You haven't heard. You don't.
That's
you
it.
know, it's like anything.
That's it.
You haven't. You know, you don't have the whole internet, and you know, you can get something at your fingertips. I'm shocked. I'm really
it's in
shocked.
the book.
I'm really shocked.
No, it's discussed about it being so taboo. It's such a taboo. I think that
Mental
that's
illness too, I'm
absolutely. And I think that that's one of the things. I think if people aren't scared, because I have a very, very close friend, Mary, and her daughter actually had been bullied, and she was doing self-harm. She was cutting. Beautiful girl, 19 years old. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. And she is so strong, and she's helping people now know that they're amazing. She's amazing, amazing, beautiful woman. And she hid it. She hid it. The same as my relative, and I'm not going into any more of that, but she hid it. You know, when she's ready to tell her story, she will. And my brother told his story in here, and it's not far from any family. And it happens to us. How many people get depressed on a daily?
Too.
Right?
Stories. So that's true. I wanted to do two quotes. One was what I flipped through some of the pages that Doreen had sent to me. But, one quote by somebody in the book, Richard Evans, he had the quote.
Yes.
Which was, "Don't let life discourage you. Everyone who got where he is had to begin where he was." And I love that. I mean, that really kind of popped out at me, because we all, you know, were somewhere.
Absolutely.
And to go back and to think, oh, if only, like, you know, if I only knew then what I know now. Well, that can't happen. But, you know, and not to make ourselves wrong. Like, where we were is where we were, and we couldn't be anywhere else and do maybe what we could do today, because we've moved so far along.
That quote's been hanging on my wall for the past 2.5 years since I started this idea of Time to Play, because if I can tell you how many people told me I'm crazy, how many people have discouraged me, how many people told me, you can't do this, you have to pick one target market. Guess what? Everybody deserves to enjoy life. Every single one of us. And my goal is to help 1 million people. That's my goal.
That's a big goal.
Hey,
so what's your
to
website?
start with.
Just if anyone wants, listen, let's start with the website.
Sounds fine.
So
It's time, the words Time to Play, TIMETOPLAY, timetoplay.com. And you'll find the book there, you'll find the cart, the makeup, like everything, and our professional resources, which are, they give of their time. I don't pay them, they don't pay me. You know, we just believe in the mantra of people helping people, and, you know, trying to help our people.
we have a few minutes left, I think 3 and about. Maybe I'll have your quote, and then you could work off of that. Where there is a dream, there is an opportunity. And Doreen actually told me that that was her quote. So tell us about that.
How many of us have a dream, and we let it go? And
so many.
This is the opportunity. My goal, again, is people helping people. And if somebody out there is watching, has a dream, and has something they want to do and something they want to help. My thought, again, the people helping people, one person alone, it's sometimes hard. It's hard to maybe start, or it's hard to maybe have enough courage to start. And we were talking, and I briefly said, 1 million people make pizza. Well, how do you break through the clutter? How do you break through? And that's where Time to Play's goal is. We're little people. And in the book, chapter 2 says, who am I to write this book? I'm just one 5'2" woman from Long Island. It's the truth, with a vision of hope. And guess what? I'm
Stature
just,
doesn't matter at this point
I
in
just
life,
wanna help,
you know.
that's
it's
it.
just, it's what's in here. It's what your vision is, you
Yes.
know. Your vision is bigger than your 5'2" frame.
My vision is as humongous as I can possibly, but I'm really just trying. And the other thing that I want to just throw out for people to remember is be grateful. You know, we are in the best country in this world. We are. And we don't realize that sometimes. Things get hard and they shadow our vision, and, you know, we lose
that's
sight.
So true. Be grateful. And most of us aren't.
No.
We really aren't. We don't take the time to be grateful, to say, wake up and say, I'm so grateful that I'm alive today. Whatever
Absolutely.
life brings me, and, you know, life isn't fair, as I always say. It just is. And we get the great, the not so great, and probably a little of the ugly. But all, you know, we have to accept the whole container, whatever that container is, because that's our life, that container. And I think if we can appreciate whatever comes along and say, you know, it's momentary.
Absolutely.
You know, the emotion attached to it probably would last longer than whatever took place.
And what we need to do is look at that issue and see how is it affecting us and change it, because we don't have to stay there and we don't have to be
That's
sad.
the choice we can make.
The choice. I love the word. Word of the day. Choice. Choice.
Right. And that's what it's about. It's about really making choices. And we only have a couple of seconds left. And where there's a dream, there's an opportunity. And
I hope people will, you know, the book is so strong and so powerful, and I hope people will take that and partake in that. It's there to help.
If I Knew Then What I Know Now by Doreen Guma. And I just want to say thank you. It's been you know, we've planned this for a long time.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy that you had the opportunity to come into the city and really share with us of this wonderful timetoplay.com and your book and everything that's in it and how it can impart such wisdom to all of us.